Hey everybody, it's Brett here. I'm bringing you another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. I am of course playing Protoss, and this is actually the grand finals of a 3-round tournament in a Diamond League tournament. So they have different ranks and everything. This happened to be a Diamond tournament. There were a few Platinum players on here as well, but in the end it came out to myself being a Diamond player against another Diamond player being Benjamin. So it's a PvZ. I'll be playing against a Zerg player, while I myself, of course, being a Protoss. Now my pylon just finished. I'm sure I'll throw up a gateway and send this little guy back to work, and I'll be wanting to get that assimilator right after, and then send him back to the mineral line. So my opponent quickly... Oh, what did he do here? Let's throw up the production tab. Looks like he may have put up a spawning pool and canceled it. He's deciding to go hatch first instead of going for a pool. At least I believe that must have been what that was. Interesting. Alright, so as I said, this is the grand finals. I played a PvT and then a PvP, and I get my final matchup being PvZ. So he does end up going for that hatch first, a little bit greedy. He does send that Overlord towards my base as I do get my second pylon up. I have my gas. I only put 2 on gas right now because I've found out that when you do want to expand, like of course I'm going to be, everyone does early game, because it's really not considered an early expand anymore. It's just natural. It's just what people do. So as you can see, I'm only putting 2 on gas so that I can have more on my mineral line, so that I'll have enough resources to quickly as possible get my expansion back here in the top right. And so you can see now he's finally getting his spawning pool. His gas is almost done, so he's not really playing greedy. He just says that he can get this hatch first, and it really isn't a bad idea. The expansion's in the back corner, so it's pretty protected. Now, if he were to go for this expansion, it's going to be a little harder for him to hold. So, as you can see, I am going for my Cybernetics core upgrade to get that warp gate. Right now, I am getting it on Adept. I want to see if I can do any damage with this Adept. I do like going for a quick Adept, PvZ mostly, but a lot of matchups, usually I'm going for a quick Adept with that expansion coming up. And he is getting 2 queens at the moment. So he's getting 2 queens, 1 for each of his hatchery. And I do have my Adept coming through. So we'll see if this guy is able to handle any drones and kill them. Hopefully he will be able to. My expansion is almost completed. His is already done, so it's a little ahead on that, but my Nexus does complete, so I have 2. I do throw a pylon here for photon overcharge in case some Zerglings do come into the fray. So this is definitely something I need to keep doing, especially on a map like this. I'm not walling off against a Zerg. Usually you might see Protoss players wall off here. I'm not doing that. I'm just keeping it all at home. I know that I've got a couple pylons I can use photon overcharge for, which I actually haven't gotten my mothership yet. That's something to note. Anyways, back here you can see the Adept didn't do very much. It got a couple kills, I believe, and that's about it before it got surrounded and killed. Sorry I missed that, but I don't think too much happened. So we do have my Nexus building probes. He is supply blocked. I must have killed an Overlord of his somewhere. Oh wow, he's got a ton of Zerglings coming from my base right now. Definitely looking to put on some early pressure. And I'm getting my mothership core right now too, so this is actually very good timing for me because I'm getting that mothership core and should be able to hold off these lings as long as I use my photon overcharge correctly. And I'm also putting up another pylon next to my Nexus just in case he does do something like this. Speed just finished for him, so... Oh, I'm sorry. It did not finish. It looked like it for a second. So I do see these lings coming. I throw on a couple photon overcharges. I actually use all my mothership's energy to do that. And I quickly just pick off these lings. They're not able to do very much. He sends this guy in to scout around the base. Doesn't see too much. I do have a robotics facility up. And I do have a robotics bay up. So that's a pretty quick robotics bay. So he's most likely concerned about that. And he does go for a 3rd base, which is already completed. And he's getting 9 roaches at the moment. That's a lot of roaches. It's something I should be concerned about. I'm not super concerned. I'm actually, in my mind, I'm thinking I need to push out. He just wasted a ton of Zerglings. It's a ton of minerals. If you look at the units lost tab, I'm up now nearly 400 minerals compared to what he's lost. So if we go back to the production tab, I'm building more and more zealots. I am building a disruptor. These disruptors are scary, scary good. So I like that. These two pylons did come in handy this game. It's very important to position your pylons in a smart position because it can totally affect the game. If I didn't have those before, those Zerglings could have done a lot more damage than they did. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot at the moment. I do snipe 2 Overlords here, which puts him in the red for his capacity. So he's going to have to build some more Overlords, which he's doing right now. He does have a lot of roaches, as we said, sitting here. And from my point of view, I've got a little bit of an army going. I got some Stalkers and plenty of Zealots. But for him, he's got a bunch of roaches and some Lings. So he is moving out a little bit here. And I do catch that right here. I try to attack, move in on some Zerglings. Doesn't work out really well. Now these Zerglings do come in. He's got a bunch of roaches. I don't know if I can handle that with my Zealots, so I back off a bit. I've got 3 units warping in. They warp in so slowly. And I do have this. I use it in. I move it towards. Oh, I get a huge batch of those roaches with that disruptor. These things are insane. So this disruptor just got 9 kills, 9 roaches just gone like that. It's absolutely insane. I do see this base is completed. I move in on it to try to snipe it while I throw down a time warp so that he's not able to engage my army. This cooldown's almost done. I can use that again very soon. Got a big advantage here. Do end up taking that hatchery out and being able to catch a couple of the roaches here, which is good for me. Get a few of those. He does have one back here, which I believe will be taken down if I do anything right this game. So this disruptor ability is back up. It goes towards them. It does get more roaches. It gets about 5 roaches there, but I do kill 2 of my zealots as well. What a good trade for me. I take it. And despite this, I'm still getting beat here. This one single disruptor has killed 14 roaches, and I'm still getting pushed back. So it's amazing. It makes me think that the disruptors are nearly essential at this point in the game. This disruptor is getting attacked, but I do hold it off with my Stalkers. He doesn't want to engage anymore. He pulls back and starts building some more roaches. He's really trying to get a nice little army together. I think he knows this expansion went down and he wants to move out and do some aggression. This disruptor gets another big shot off, killing 4 more roaches. And unfortunately does get killed there. Now my Stalkers aren't doing a super great job against these roaches. As you can see, neither of us are going for any upgrades. Both at 0-0 still. This Mothership Core is going to be able to rain terror for now on the battlefield here. So just keep doing that. In my meantime, I do put up an expansion. It's very important when you feel that you're even or ahead, just to keep expanding, keep growing your income, because that in the later game is going to be a huge deal. Obviously, I do throw on a few more gates because my income is able to keep up with that many gates and warping in that many units. I did manage to get another disruptor, I believe. Yes, there it is. And I've moved out to his expansion down here. And I'm not in a very good spot. He does end up coming into that disruptor and sniping it. Does he get it? Yes, he does get it. And then I'm left with just Stalkers against a bunch of roaches and a few Lings. Not a good position for me at all. So I do end up warping back home. Right over here. Sorry about that. And I warp in some more units. I'm expecting him to kind of move in towards me now. I know that he only has 2 bases here, and I put up my 3rd. So if he doesn't attack, it's a great position for me. And so I think he's going to be moving in, so I need to prepare for my defense. I've got a couple pylons for photon overcharge. I got some Stalkers. I need to produce this disruptor that's about to come out. It's a big deal. I got my pylon overcharge. He backs off a little bit. He keeps producing these roaches. He's just building more units so he can try to move up this ramp and take down my expansion here. But he doesn't. I use my ball, my disruptor ball, does not end up working. It's this Purification Nova. That's an awesome name. I didn't even know his name that. So he knows that I'm on cooldown for this ability, so he tries to move in again, but I do use that photon overcharge. Once again, I put it on here as well. Do not have enough energy. I just got enough to put it on one of these pylons, and he does kind of move up a little too closely here. So then I use my ball again, get a huge hit there, and I have another one, and he throws out the GG. So it's a pretty quick game. These disruptors just did an amazing amount of damage, and I managed to take this 3rd base, which kind of put him in a very, very difficult position. And I ended up winning the Diamond Tournament, so I was happy about that. And I got to beat all 3 races in it, so I got each of those matchups. And I think I might have used disruptors against the Terran as well. So they're a super strong new unit for the Protoss. And that's the game. I hope you guys have a good day.